Shalom Akim. I'm going to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who teach and well. And salutations to all the Akim in all four corners of earth pushing truth and sincerity. Shalom Akim. I'm getting into this little article I have right here, adding on to the turmoil that Babylon the Great is getting ready to go through, man. Because whenever a country denies another country of its income, of its sources that they need to sell to make money to feed the country, that means war. That's 90% of the battle cries of war, here in this new world, And what's going on right now is America has denied Russia the possibility. They denied them from coming to the to the different trade boards that America and the UN have, and they've been expelling Russia out of a lot of these different agreements and the different trade boards they have. And what is Russia doing right now? They said, okay, if that's the way that y'all want to play it, well, guess what? In order for you to buy our oil, in order for you to buy our goods, you're going to have to use our money, which is the same thing America did in a hostile takeover back in the 70s when they made the U.S. petrodollar, So Russia is doing a power play, and the U.S. is upset about that, man. The U.S. is very upset about that. And I've been talking to a few Edomites in my jobs who play the stock market, and they're kind of feeling this pinch right now, and they're trying to figure out what's going on, because if you've been paying attention to the stock market for the last week or two, the numbers have been dropping drastically. Yesterday, just so happened he put my boy a cracker I used to listen to, Crazy Kramer. I think that's his name. I can't think of his real name, but when he all he does is ramble about the bear and the bull market, and he likes to parade about how he likes to parade about how what to invest in, what not to invest in, pull and pull. When I was in my young 20s, when I thought I was going to do something in the stock market, I used to pay attention to him because it was a good thing to pay attention to, because he knew different things to buy. Well, when you get into his truth, you find out everything he talked about was a setup, and everything was a fraud. Everything that's on TV is set up for a reason, to get you to pull into it, to get you to believe into the things that they had put out in front of you, But at the end of the day, the dollar is falling. It ain't gonna be no bear and bull marketing too much longer. We're going. These devils want to reset the currency. They want to reset the dollar. They want to reset the ruble. They want to reset all of it. The UN. The yuan. The yen. I can't think of the Asian dollar. But yeah, they want to reset all that, and they want to have it into a world market at the end of the day. But this article talks about just what I was speaking about earlier, how Russia is dumping the U.S. dollar, and the U.S. dollar is beginning to be more and more obsolete in the world market. This says Russia urges allies to dump dollar and euro in trade. So they're gonna dump the euro and the U.S. dollar. So that'd be smack to the mother and the daughter. Because mind you, once again, Russia has its own money called the ruble, and it's been it's been on the market. But some of us are old enough to remember when the ruble went into hyperinflation damn near in the 80s, when their money was worth damn near nothing. And that was around the time where USSR was at its full might, and in a certain part around the end of the 80s, a guy by the name of Mikhail Gorbachev, he folded in on USSR and then became just a simple Russia, and all those countries had separated. They were no longer a part of that great power that was at one time. So let me read some of this article, and I'm going to bring out some verses. It says, Russia has called on trading partners to switch to national currency. Russia, and this is something that I've been reporting on since I've heard this about at least a solid month ago. I heard this about a month ago, as soon as the war kicked off, and the UN kicked Russia off a bunch of different councils. They also started sanctioning Russia very heavily. Russian president said, last straw was, what can I do? All right, well, if you countries want to trade, if you countries, European countries, which need my oil because my oil supplies at least a third of the European nations with oil, he said, guess what? We're not going to trade in no other money but my currency, which was very much a power move because it made his money become at least value once again. So let me read on. And at the end of the day, we know that these elites, what the game plan is, because this is just the middle play. We know what the end game plan is, to turn everything into the MOTB, you know. He said, Russia should increase settlements in national currencies with partner countries. Denis Mavotry, head of Russian Ministry of Industry and Trade, said at the preliminary session of the International Exhibition at Uzbekistan on Monday. And if I'm not mistaken, Interpro is the name of their energy company. He was addressing countries with Eurasian Economic Union, BRICS, and Shanghai Cooperation Organization, of which Russia is a member of. You see, once again, these different organizations right here that Russia had to join was because the UN sanctioned them so heavy, the UN kicked them out. And who are the main heads of the UN? United States of America. You know, United States of America is one of the heads of the UN, and followed by its mother, which would be Britain. You know, they're a part of it too, and the other goofy countries that follow them. He said, according to the ministry, in 2021, the growth of the Russian trade turnover with partners within these associations amounted to about 38%, while together these unions make up roughly half of the global economy. Backing up just what I said, half of your economy is under the UN sanction, and the other half is under this BRICS, under this EU and SCO. So, you know, you have a split in these devils conferences and these devils money grabbing scheme, man. You know, and it says the future of the successful corporations depends on how fast Russia's partners move away from the US dollar and the euro toward national currencies and mutual settlements, man. These countries are hell-bent on leaving the US dollar. And the significance of this article is very much because I was just speaking to an Edomite about this yesterday at my job and breaking down how these different, especially Russia, how Russia is very much a power horse in this global split, you know, for the dollars, for the energy, for the prices. So don't just think of America as just the big bully dog. Russia is also one too, basically what I'm trying to say. Russia plays a major part, and they knew this from first time. You know, they knew that the line that they held has a lot of energy resources. They've been selling oil to European nations. They've been doing business for some time. So what you're seeing as far as the Russia invading Ukraine, this is a power move, but because once again, Ukraine was a part of USSR umbrella, and Russia just wants that money, man. You know, and you know, hey, man, that's how they gotta pay the bills, man. You know, that's how they gotta pay the bills. Let me read a little bit more and bring on some verses because let me bring this verse out real fast. Matter of fact, this is it's 1 Timothy 6:9. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition, man. You know, that money, man. You know, Esau is all about that money, man. And it's showing, you know, he needs the energy, the prices will go up. A lot of these European countries will fail, you know, if they don't deal with Russia. Because at one time they were dealing with trying to deal with the world's market, but at the same time, once war broke out, it was like, hey man, we gotta deal with what's smart, and that's Russia, man. You know, that's their ally, that's their number one source maker. So how are you gonna go to war with somebody who puts energy and different goods into your country? That would be fucking stupid, you know? But a lot of these European countries have sold out the NATO and to the Western powers, and Russia realizes that. And so at this last push, they're like, hey man, go ahead and trade in rubles, because this reserve bank is knocking at our door. They want to come on through and change our money to the world. They want to push that digital currency heavy, the reserve banks and everybody and the elites. Even though we know that Russia is still a part of this elite system at one point or another, it's all a smoke screen, because they gotta play their part, man. Every nation has a part to play. 1 Timothy 6:10, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. And even though, Russia's an Edomite's place, they still they lust after that money, man. And after that money, they need it. It's a necessity. It's a necessity, in their place. And this devil's system is built on that money, man. That money is what keeps this devil system afloat for the most part. It keeps this system a reputable system at the same time, But it's also coming down, man. And that's the number one thing that's coming down. And when you see these devils going at each other over different markets they once ran, over different industries they once ran, it's showing you more and more it's a divided system, man. That's what it's showing us, a divided system more and more, man. It says, let me read a little bit more. What is happening today in the global economy and in the world gives us a hint about how we need to rebuild our logistics industrial corporation and what directions we can develop our economies. This is de-dollarization. And now we have an added de-euroization, that is the transition to our own currencies in order to be as independent as possible in terms of mutual settlements. Man, adding up just what I said, man, they're getting ready to kick off that dollar and kick away that euro, and they're going to just deal with the ruble. They're going to deal with the ruble. So in these last days, you got to know what's going on. You got to understand the times we're coming into and why wars is essential for a lot of these countries, as well as it's prophesied about these things that's happening, man. It's going to be prophesied. And we look more. The ministry added that Western European and the U.S. are now experiencing hyperinflation, which affects the development of industrial sectors and the economy as a whole. Hyperinflation. Are we not seeing higher prices at the gas station, at the supermarket? These are the things the scriptures speak about, man. And here it is where Esau is bringing it out and putting it in your face, man. Hyperinflation in America, and orienting a corporation with allies which do not include the EU and the U.S. to national currencies will be giving Russian partners the maximum independence and development of joint projects, he added. So basically all he said in that was the more and more you pull away from those Western companies and U.S. companies, that Russia will give you more and more help. But once again, this is one evil leading towards another evil, because we already know that a lot of these Caucasians, a lot of these companies, a lot of these places have been compromised already for as far as the reserve currency, and there ain't nothing you can do about it, man. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Let me bring this up, man, real fast. This is John 3:19, and this is the condemnation: the light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their evil deeds were evil, man. And at the end of the day, Esau is being exposed of his evil doings, and he's trying to hide from him under these different flags, different nationalities and stuff like that. But the Lord is exposing these people, and through these scriptures they're being exposed, man, because they are the evil of the world, man. And this light, which is the truth, is exposing them, man. This little light. John 3:20. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light. Neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved, man. And right now, Esau is being reproved, man, with through these scriptures. First off, and we're using the scriptures and seeing the deeds he's doing. Because at the end of the day, we're not rooting for Ukraine, we're not rooting for Russia, United States of America. We're rooting for the Lord, and we're waiting for the Lord to come back, because we know we need the Lord to fight this war that's going to come, this big war that's going to come, not these little skirmishes that are happening. Even though these skirmishes are going to lead up to something, but at the end of the day, we know the things are going to be greater than what we're seeing right now, man. The World War III is coming. The drive, the unrest in these places that people are happy at. These are the things that are coming. These are the things that people are some are starting to talk about, because a lot of them are still blinded by, the media and the different things that they put on TV, which is once again the devil's doing. But at the end of the day, I just want to bring this little article out, man, just letting you know Russia, adding on to the point that Russia is ditching that dollar, and the dollar is losing value. And why did I bring this up? Because once again, I've been speaking to 2 to 3 of my employees at my job, and they're Edomites, and they're in fear. And some of them are believing in the market. Some of them are, they lost hope in this market. And I was trying to explain to them that one of the leading causes of that U.S. dollar building up was because of the petro. You got to do your homework on the petrodollar and how significant that is. But let me end that right there, because this video might not go up because of the time. But with that being said, shalom.